Hello, this is a little screencast about qualitative research. I mention this a lot, and I wanted to show you, give you some information about it, and show you the example of chronic fatigue syndrome, the kind of information that you might come up with. So this is the DIGO website. I don't know if many of you have looked into it yet, but whenever you're in it, you can search within Family Case Study for all the terms which have qualitative research that have been saved. This is within my library, and included is this paper here, how to read a paper. So this is a piece of work. Now I'm at home, but it's a paper from the BMJ, which you can go into. You will be able to get into, and it explains what qualitative research is. And here are some. I've also saved some examples of qualitative research papers, and here is the Wikipedia entry about qualitative research, which can help you understand what it's about as well. So how do you actually find some qualitative research? Well, this is PubMed Central. I'm using this because I'm at home, and I want to show you so PubMed Central only finds you absolutely free papers, so we'll definitely be able to access them. And in my search term, I've just put in qualitative research, chronic fatigue syndrome. So let's see what comes up. And we've got 8 papers here, starting with an editorial by Richard Smith. I'm not actually sure what that's about. Let's have a look. So Richard Smith was the editor of the BMJ for a long time. So 4 authors from London delve into some of the darker aspects of medicine by comparing and contrasting doctor perceptions of patients with chronic fatigue and irritable bowel syndrome. So that sounds like it's interesting. So this is a qualitative study done about chronic fatigue syndrome of GP's perceptions, so that's something good. Hopefully that paper would also have been listed in here. But it doesn't look like it particularly is. So there you go. You don't always find everything whenever you do a search, and that's why you have to look and then go a little bit further. So integrative medical care, that's a term for really more complementary therapies often. Let's see, the most up-to-date, using multiple sources of knowledge to reach clinical understanding of chronic fatigue syndrome. So there will be a lot more research which will be not on PubMed Central, but I'm just showing this to see what it's about. So here we go. This is a study. We undertook a qualitative study with patients and family physicians from North West England. So what do? They purposive sampling, which means they didn't take a random sample or anything. They actually went out looking specifically for people who were affected by the condition, or family physicians, which we call GPs most normally, and they did in-depth semi-structured interviews, and then they analysed interview transcripts using constant comparative methods. So they were not collecting quantitative data, they weren't doing a survey, they were actually doing interviews, and then they were trying to see what kind of themes would emerge. So they scanned down and look at their results. So they're presented as 2 key themes: understanding chronic fatigue syndrome and accessing alternative sources of evidence. So that is what we mean by qualitative research. Qualitative data gets mentioned sometimes, and that just means the kind of quotes and information that you would find if you do an interview and you have a transcript. You also could say, to be honest, that there is qualitative data within forum postings, and that you are in a way doing a form of analysis whenever you go and look at these. Which is an interesting way to think about it. But anyway, I hope that's of help, and if you have any more questions, please get back to me.